Myanmar hari ini. Kenapa? Kerana kita orang memang ada hubungan perdagangan dengan mereka. And then on top of that, kita kan dekat dengan diorang. Kita kan, we share sempadan. So obviously we want to be friends with them. Tapi kita pun ada hubungan dengan China dan India. Again, come back to the fact that it's hubungan perdagangan. Lepas tu, Malaysia, hubungan kita dengan negara-negara seperti Arab Saudi, Mesir, Yemen, Turkey. So Mesir is Egypt, Yemen is Middle East, is below Saudi Arabia. Turkey is in between Asia and Europe. So kita terpengaruhi kenapa? Kenapa kita ada hubungan dengan orang? Kerana ikatan agama, right? All of these places, diorang punya agama is agama Islam. And of course, later on, kita orang pun akan menyertai pertubuhan Commonwealth. Kenapa kita menyertai Commonwealth? Because kita dah semua pernah dijajah oleh British. And Commonwealth is a persatuan, but it's like a pertubuhan sukarela. So you agree or not to join. And so everybody join, all the countries yang pernah dijajah oleh British, we join because we're like, jom kita jalinkan hubungan. We all have something in common. Kita orang semua pernah dijajah oleh British. And maybe this way we can work together with the British to see what they can do to help us since they made our life so difficult for the past few hundred years. Okay? So itu dari segi ikatan sejarah. Lepas tu kita ada keperluan nasional. Why do we have dasar luar? Why do we want to be friends with Singapore? Why we want to be friends with Australia? Kenapa kita nak kawan baik dengan Britain ataupun kita nak kawan baik dengan Germany? Kenapa kita tak nak kawan baik dengan North Korea? Atau kenapa kita tak nak to be best friends with Russia? Must got a reason one. Because at the end of the day, it all comes down to keperluan nasional. Kita orang tak ada undang-undang pula. Kita tak ada penggubalan dasar untuk tolong negara luar. Kita dah negara merdeka, negara daulat. Kita nak tolong diri sendiri. So when it comes to all of your ulasan, when it comes to your jawapan kebat, don't talk about negara luar. Kita nak pentingkan apa untuk kepentingan negara luar. Tak. Sebab kita dah merdeka. So kita tak perlu tolong orang lain. We have to tolong diri sendiri ataupun negara kita sendiri. So keperluan nasional bermaksud apa? Kita beri keutamaan kepada kepentingan negara kita. So when we know, what's most important? We need to make money for ourselves. Kita perlu macam berjaya. So, kita nak jaga kedaulatan negara kita. Kita nak dasar yang akan menguntungkan negara kita. Not to help China, not to help North Korea. Okay? So, kita kena ada fikiran strategik because at the end of the day, kita pun ada kedudukan yang strategik. So, on top of that, we must be smart. Because we are in a very strategic, good location physically or secara geography in the world. So we know people want to come and do business with us. We also have to choose who's the right person to do business with. So again, kenapa kita perlu ada hubungan baik dengan negara luar? Untuk memastikan kita jaga kebajikan rakyat Malaysia. Okay? On top of that, we also want to help those yang berada di luar negara jika diperlukan. For example, kenapa kita nak berbaik-baik dengan negara Britain lah, okay? Kita nak berbaik-baik dengan Britain not just because Britain boleh buat business dengan kita, Britain boleh tolong kita dari segi maybe pentadbiran, okay, kita boleh tukar pendapat, tukar ataupun berkongsi kepakaran. It's also because mungkin ada banyak rakyat Malaysia yang bekerja dan tinggal ataupun belajar di UK. Alright, so we definitely want to be friends with them still. Because if anything happen there, at least we can protect and help our Malaysians there. Same thing dengan negara Jerman. Same thing dengan negara Perancis. We want to be friends with them, not just untuk hubungan kita, tapi untuk memastikan all of the people there are safe. Okay, so that is why untuk Malaysia, kita memang negara yang betul-betul tak suka campur tangan dengan negara luar. Jadi, yes, kita orang hantar our people, our wakil untuk misi pengaman untuk PBB. Yes, we join peacekeeping mission. Yes, kita tolong dengan konflik-konflik di Asia Tenggara. Tetapi kita memang negara yang tak nak tolong orang lain. Not to say like, I tak nak tolong you. It's more like, okay, jom kita buat bertenang sikit, buat lag, chill dulu, talk first, rather than jom kita gaduh. Because Malaysia, we know we don't have that kind of strength. Okay, that's why for us, kita orang punya paling penting untuk kita is keamanan negara dan ultimately keamanan dunia, and at the same time kepentingan ekonomi. We want to make money. Kita nak memastikan kemakmuran negara Malaysia, sebab bila kita ada kemakmuran negara Malaysia, bermaksudnya kita ada duit. Bila kita ada cukup dana, cukup peruntukan, it means that kita dapat membangunkan negara kita. That's what's most important to us. I don't care about, okay, that person got whatever. I want to make sure that whatever money I have is for Malaysia. Okay, that's the idea. That is why kita orang punya dasar luar, you have to think about it later dengan Tun Abdul Razak. Dasar luar kita, dasar luar yang bebas dan berkecuali. What is the word berkecuali? Berkecuali means neutral. Don't side anybody. In case you tak pernah dengar, ingat perkataan berkecuali means I don't join anybody. Okay, I am neutral. I don't side anybody. Okay, so kita orang tahu sebenarnya baik untuk kita menjalinkan hubungan dengan semua negara tanpa mengira ideologi mereka. Except that we draw the line with Israel, okay? Remember, we draw the line with Israel because we don't believe that Israel is an actual state. Ataupun negara yang berdaulat, because memang dia orang tak ada kuasa. Technically, dia orang tak ada kuasa untuk berdaulat lah, okay? Tapi, well, we are fighting against a very big wave. So you have to remember, tanpa mengira ideology means that once upon a time, kita orang memang berbaik-baik dengan North Korea sebenarnya. Korea Selatan, Korea Utara, it doesn't really matter which Korea, we are friends with everybody, because kita tahu better to be friends with everybody than to be like, oh, I hate you, I fight you, okay? Because we cannot afford to be enemies with anybody. Okay, so that's what we mean by dasar luar bebas dan berkecuali. Okay, lepas tu kepimpinan, at the end of the day, kita ada pemimpin negara yang sangat penting dalam penggubalan dasar luar. So you have to remember, like for example, bab 10 tingkatan 4 kita belajar yang menteri luar pertama kita di tanah Melayu ataupun in Malaya is actually Tunku Abdul Rahman. So yes, Tunku Abdul Rahman Perdana Menteri pertama di Malaya, but at the same time he's also the Menteri Luar, so he was also a foreign minister. He was foreign minister because he is so charismatic and he's so good at what he does, and he's already been talking to a lot of people all over the world, right? Because kita nak berunding untuk mendapatkan kemerdekaan tanah Melayu. So because of that, kita perlu ada pemimpin yang peka dengan perkembangan pada peringkat antarabangsa. Peka means you have to be very, very aware what's happening in this world, what are the changes. Because what happened today, you know, today we do this, 10 years from now is completely different. Maybe even in 2019, you never ever thought that, oh, kita akan belajar, kita ada kelas online, kita ada tuition online. Tak ada punya, tak ada makna punya. You thought, oh, exam, kalau buat SPM, kita buat November, December, boom, habis. Sekian, terima kasih, right? Tapi sekarang hidup kita dah, we changed completely in just a matter of a few years. So here, kita orang tahu that when it comes to any sort of perubahan yang berlaku, it happens, we must have a pemimpin that is ready to handle all of this. Okay? Alright, so kita, for us in Malaysia, kita orang memang menjalinkan hubungan dengan negara yang sedang membangun macam kita jugalah, okay? Still not up, okay? Seperti negara-negara di Afrika, negara kepulauan di Pasifik Selatan. Better to be friends with the people who want to go up rather than just countries that are already successful, because we can go together, we can grow together. It's like this lah kan. You guys nak ada that study group, right? Kalau ada study group, you don't want to just go with the person who is damn good in maths, right? Because it's like, you ada kawan yang macam so good in maths, tapi semua orang, everybody else in the study group macam don't know how to do maths. And then that friend's trying to teach you guys. Then that friend will feel like, aku ni kan macam study group ni, macam I kena jadi cikgu pula. Macam malasnya, right? But if all of you guys are studying together, you're all learning together, you're helping each other, you're on the same level. So this way doesn't feel like, oh, someone is pulling their weight or someone is not pulling their weight. So everybody's doing their job. So that's the idea, okay? That's why we want to menjalinkan hubungan dengan negara yang sedang membangun, okay? Because we understand that better to be friends with the guys the same level as us rather than the guys that's going to leave us behind, because they're already sangat maju. Negara maju seperti Britain, America, bukan dia nak kisah tentang kita pun, right? Because we are small fish to them, okay? Lastly, persekitaran luar, have to remember perkembangan politik, ekonomi dan sosial antarabangsa sentiasa berubah. Kak saya dah cakap tadi, alright? That's why dasar luar kita kena disesuaikan dengan perubahan yang berlaku. So once upon a time, kita orang macam baik-baik dengan say Korea Utara, tapi sekarang dia orang dah macam putuskan hubungan diplomatik. So now we have to change. Oh, okay, so now we shouldn't pay so much attention to our hubungan dengan Korea Utara. And then at some point, selepas Perang Dunia Kedua, kita ada Perang Dingin, also known as the Cold War. It was there was not really proper physical combat between Blok Amerika, iaitu Blok Kapitalis, dan juga Blok Komunis, iaitu Soviet Union atau Russia. And so at that time, because the Cold War happened, kita orang punya dasar luar is actually lebih pro-barat because kita masih di bawah Tunku Abdul Rahman. And Tunku Abdul Rahman has always needed help from, you know, Britain and from Australia, New Zealand, right? Negara-negara Commonwealth lah, basically, right? And on top of that, needed help from all the other Western powers because mereka semua tak suka dengan komunis. And kita pun dari tahun 1948 hingga 1960, kita orang memang ada ancaman komunis. So, obviously, dasar kita pun macam terikut-ikut dengan dasar negara luar, and that is untuk anti-komunis. So, during Cold War, we were like, oh, okay, I joined with the capitalist clan, the successful country clan, alright. Lepas tu, after Tunku Abdul Rahman step down, and then later on kita ada Tun Abdul Razak, dasar kita di negara akan tukar, alright, and tukar dan berubah kepada dasar tidak berpihak ataupun dasar berkecuali. So you have to remember, with every Perdana Menteri, okay, and setiap kerajaan yang kita ada di Malaysia, diorang punya dasar akan tukar. So maybe today kita nak best friends dengan, you know, Amerika. Maybe 5 years from now kita orang ada Perdana Menteri yang lain yang memang tak nak ada hubungan baik dengan negara-negara barat. Maybe kita nak best friends je dengan negara-negara di Asia Tenggara atau negara-negara di Asia specifically. Then maybe the dasar will change. So it really depends on your prime minister. It also depends on your persekitaran luar. That means all your outside, your surroundings. Okay, so again, you have to remember, at first, kita orang punya dasar is dasar pro-barat. Okay, kita orang punya dasar sebelum ni agak selektif. Tetapi lepas tu, kita orang punya dasar berubah kepada berbaik-baik dengan semua negara. Okay, we have no choice. We need to be friends with everybody. Malaysia got no choice. Malaysia don't have a lot of things. Or Malaysia just know that I don't want drama with other people. Okay, Trice, I think there's another person coming in. I can just admit if you want. Trice, are you there? Are you there? Okay, it's fine. Chen, you understand or not? Chen, are you with me? Chen? Yes, Kak, you with me. Okay. It's one of those super like macam stressful topics kalau macam you memang tak suka dengan konsep-konsep like dasar luar. This took a while for me to also like because Kak Sarah belajar dasar luar in uni, so that's why like macam, oh okay, this is something I really like. Hi Wei En, Happy New Year. Thank you very much for coming. Even though it's Saturday morning and it's technically still New Year. Happy New Year. I'm not married yet, so I cannot give you ampao. Okay, but in the future lah, you can claim from me, both of you. Okay, in the future, not now, not this year or next year. Okay, hari ni Wei En, Kak Sarah, actually I'm talking to Chen about what's that word? Kita orang discuss tentang dasar luar Malaysia. And dasar luar Malaysia is one of those hot topics yang mungkin akan keluar untuk essay. Okay, so here kita orang tengok tentang it's okay lah. The facilitator and I, we were talking, and then kita orang macam, rasanya ada banyak yang masih on holiday, and semua orang macam this is the last chance kan, holidays, but lepas ni kita orang ada macam oral punya exam lah, kita ada makmal lah, so memang banyak sangat akan busy and will be all over the place. So tak apa, asalkan you sampai and dapat belajar something, that's something that I really want from you guys. Okay, so jom kita tengok tentang bab 9 tingkatan 5. I just went through with Chen about faktor dasar luar. Okay, so what are the reasons kenapa kita ada dasar luar is buku teks muka surat 197. So I actually put it here for you guys. So actually my spelling is wrong. It's supposed to be Yaman because the buku teks says Yaman. So just ikut whatever buku teks punya spelling lah. Okay, now the next question that I want to do is something that I want the both of you to try. Okay, so I'm going to go back. Okay, here. So kalau kita tengok sini, jelaskan faktor penggebalan dasar luar. Kak Sarah dah bagi dah tadi. Sekarang soalan B, I'm going to explain dulu. Ini merujuk kepada Perdana Menteri kita. Kita ada Perdana Menteri pertama, Perdana Menteri kedua, right? So in the 1970s, kita orang punya Perdana Menteri kedua ialah Tun Abdul Razak Hussein, right? You remember bila tingkatan 5 punya topik atau bab, so, Tun Abdul Razak is known as Tun Abdul Razak. In Form 5, he is Tun Abdul Razak. In Form 4, he is Dato' Abdul Razak. Okay, so you have to know the difference between the two. And also, Tunku Abdul Rahman's name will never change. Form 4, Form 5, masih Tunku Abdul Rahman. So, Tunku Abdul Rahman sebagai Perdana Menteri pertama di Malaya, dasarnya ialah pro-Barat. Pro-Barat means that I side with the Western powers, right? And they are technically bloc capitalists. So kita ikut, let's say, negara Britain. Kita ikut negara Britain lah more than anything. And America and all those kind of negara-negara yang maju. And kita at that time pun, you kena faham kenapa kita orang tak nak, kita tak nak pro-komunis. Kerana 1948 to 1960 kita ada ancaman komunis, right? So obviously kita orang memang anti-komunis at that time. So if you were Tunku Abdul Rahman, apakah dasar or action plan that you will come up with for Malaya? It would be to join the Western powers to go against the bloc komunis. Okay, so that's Tunku Abdul Rahman. Selepas Tunku Abdul Rahman dah step down, and that's why he stopped being Prime Minister, dan kita ada Tun Abdul Razak. And Tun Abdul Razak mengubah dasar kita, dasar negara kita kepada dasar berkecuali. To remind you, Wei En, berkecuali is neutral. I don't side anybody, I'm just in the middle. Okay, so Tun Abdul Razak had to change his dasar. Mengapakah Tun Abdul Razak mengamalkan dasar berkecuali? Now, this is the soalan that I want you to try. Okay, and the soalan is not asking you about Tunku Abdul Rahman. The soalan is asking you about Tun Abdul Razak sahaja. Mengapakah beliau mengamalkan dasar berkecuali? Now, you can look for this in your buku teks, muka surat 208 dan 209. I will give you maybe 5 to 10 minutes to try this, and then later we can go on to soalan C together. Boleh? Just give me a thumbs up.
Kak Sarah.
Yes.
I have a question here about
yes.
just now the faktor pengubalan dasar luar.
Yes.
Because at the faktor persekitan luar, there's one thing called perang dingin. Yeah. It's a conflict. So yeah, that one, like they say diterajui oleh Kesatuan Soviet. So what is Kesatuan Soviet actually?
Kesatuan Soviet is actually wait, I show you it's right here. So here, Kesatuan Soviet, right? Page 197. Kesatuan Soviet is Soviet Union. Back then, so this is actually something to do with Perang Dunia Pertama, right? Perang Dunia Pertama. Welcome back, Chen. I think it's your internet, right? Wei En ada soalan tentang Kesatuan Soviet dan Perang Dingin. So this one, I'm sorry, I have to grandmother story a bit. Go all the way back to Perang Dunia Pertama. Selepas Perang Dunia Pertama, okay, so around Perang Dunia Pertama kita tahu kan tentang Austria-Hungary, okay, kita tahu tentang Austria-Hungary, kita tahu tentang negara Jerman and all that, but later on, salah satu kesan Perang Dunia Pertama ialah keruntuhan dinasti, right? All the keruntuhan dinasti dan juga empire di Eropah, and one of them would be Russia. Russia will have this thing called Revolusi Bolshevik, ataupun the Bolshevik Revolution, in which the communists will take over. And I don't know whether you guys know the story of Anastasia, the animation, right? The animation is not a true story lah, but the concept of like a royal family in Russia. So once upon a time, Russia was a negara yang ada institusi pemerintahan beraja. And so at that time, you had Tsar Nicholas and his wife, and then his children and all that. And this Tsar Nicholas eventually will be taken over. His family will actually be murdered by these communist guys. And that's what we call Revolusi Bolshevik. And so the Bolsheviks were these were led by a man called Vladimir Lenin, and Lenin will be the one that will basically Lenin and gang will be the one that meruntuhkan this dynasty dan juga institusi beraja di Russia, and then they would change the concept of Russia from institusi beraja to a republic instead. So the republic here will be tak ada raja, no royal family, no nothing, and so that is actually based on their communist ideas, and so that's why they changed the name to Soviet Union. Okay, so Russia was not Russia until 1990. Okay, 1989, late 80s, early 90s. Okay, it was only been like 30 years since Russia was known as Russia again. Okay, so you need to understand why this thing called Soviet Union happened is because they're all communist guys. And in the Second World War, they actually don't really have drama with the communists. Okay, they don't have drama with the communists because even though a lot of countries in Europe were worried about communism, okay, because of this Bolshevik revolution and all that, and the way they killed the royal family is quite scary actually. Okay, but the other biggest issue that they had to worry about in Perang Dunia Kedua is, well, Hitler lah, right? Hitler and his Nazi gang, right? And also Mussolini in Italy. So like, and then lepas tu di like Asia Pacific, there's Japan, right? So we had a bigger fish to fry. And so nobody really paid attention. And then at some point, one of the ways kita kalahkan negara Jerman dan juga negara Italy was actually to work together with Soviet Union, Kesatuan Soviet. All right, because we're like, oh, actually, like we got a bigger enemy. Because Soviet Union is like, wah, liao, this German, right, selalu kacau I ya, selalu want to masuk into my land and nak mencerobohi my kawasan. So I'm sick and tired of German. So that's why this bloc, like capitalists, so like America, like Britain, like France, they decided to work together with the Soviet Union guys. And at that time, Soviet Union guys were led by a guy called Joseph Stalin. This picture is in the book on Form 4. It's at the Yalta Conference. So they decided to work together with each other. So at some point they actually forgot tau. Dia macam, oh sebenarnya kita orang punya ideologi kita tak sama tau. Tapi kita orang memang ada common enemy at that time. And kita orang punya common enemy is Hitler. And so lepas Perang Dunia Kedua dah tamat, semua orang dah happy, Germany pun dah macam dah kalah, Hitler pun dah ciao, alright, and everybody dah settle down, kita dah ada PBB, then only bloc capitalist ni, especially America, dia macam, sebenarnya kan, kenapa Soviet Union macam ni ah? Kenapa dia orang buat macam ni? Macam tak betul je apa dia orang buat ni. And the Soviet Union pun macam, I don't trust you guys. And then that's how this Perang Dingin came together. Because even though the Soviet Union guys and the capitalist guys, meaning like the allies, so America, France, Britain, all BFFs, okay, at first, actually, they realize, oh, lepas kita dah, we got rid of Germany, or we got rid of Hitler, oh, kita orang punya idea dan kita orang punya values is not the same. And that's why later on kita orang ada this Perang Dingin. So Perang Dingin is called Cold War because America, they are the leader of the bloc capitalists. Capitalist means they make money lah, right? Okay, and capitalist is opposite of communist. America and Russia or Soviet Union, they orang tak pernah macam bertempur. Okay, physically, they never go like ice cream A and ice cream B, right? Okay, they never like bertempur in front of each other. Okay, so they never fight like, wow, go to war like that, like how First World War and Second World War, right? But what they did is even worse. Okay, they would try to mempengaruhi all of the kawasan around them atau macam try to get them to be their allies, try to tolong. So like, there will be drama in Vietnam. And then so at some point, one of them, like the Ho Chi Minh and gang, it is something that you actually study in Form 4 also, Bab 2, kita belajar Ho Chi Minh, actually ada Parti Komunis Vietnam, and Parti Komunis Vietnam, siapa yang tolong dia orang? Obviously, Kesatuan Soviet, right? Because they are communists. And then after at some point, the other part of Vietnam, the Americans came and helped. So you see, even though they're not fighting with each other, they're using other people to fight with each other. Because the whole point of this Perang Dingin is to see siapa ada kuasa yang lebih besar, siapa yang ada pengaruh yang lebih besar. So actually, dia orang macam use other people in order for them to be successful. Okay, and so they will go to everybody that they be like, jom lah, you join lah I, kalau you support I, you just kena tolong, you just kena tunjuk I ataupun tunjuk dunia yang macam you tak suka Soviet Union. Apa you nak? You nak duit? Apa you nak? You nak kuasa? Apa you nak? You want soldiers? You want pertahanan? You want senjata? Apa you nak? I akan bagi you. As long as you tunjuk ke I and you tunjuk dunia yang you tak suka Soviet Union. Something like that. And Soviet Union would do the same. All right. So many years, guys, of hell. All right. It's because they're just people whispering, and then they are the ones that like making drama behind the scenes. Okay. Does this make sense, Wei En?
Yes, very clear.
Very clear. Okay.
Yeah.
So do you see how now like all the story that you belajar in like Form 4, they all come back?
There's a hidden story in Perang Dingin, I found that, because not stated very clear in textbook.
Yeah, because they do actually inform my time and your seniors. They orang belajar tentang Perang Dingin actually. They orang belajar tentang Perang Dunia Pertama, Kedua dan juga Perang Dingin. But I think they took it out because Perang Dingin ni agak
complicated.
Dia sangat-sangat complicated because dia macam we have to know about communists, and then lepas tu we have to know about exactly what they do, and then not everything has something to do us. Tetapi ada banyak konflik yang berlaku di Asia Tenggara also yang ada kena mengena dengan Soviet Union dan of course dengan America, and that's why Cold War is called the Cold War. And the Cold War is not like 2 years, 3 years. The Cold War is many years. It's in the 70s onwards. So imagine Russia only became Russia when the fall of Soviet Union was in 1888, 89, I think. Like, I was just born at that time. You imagine. Imagine that. Okay. So, if you have time, lepas dah habis SPM, kalau ada masa, just go to YouTube, try to open as many links as possible tentang Perang Dingin, and you will see macam mana dorang they bring back to the world lah. Okay, so that's why sangat penting untuk kita ada pertubuhan seperti Commonwealth atau pertubuhan seperti bangsa-bangsa bersatu. Because bila kita ada all of these pertubuhan, kita tahu the way untuk memastikan keamanan dunia is rundingan. Jangan buat this backdoor whisper and then macam tolong orang. Dia macam it's so bad because it's like it's not like Russia go to America be like you suck. Tak ada tau. It's like Wei-En pergi kat Chen and be like, you tahu tak Kak Sarah tu kan dia macam tak betul so. And after that Chen, and then Kak Sarah did this to you Chen. And then Chen will be like, huh? Did you? And then Chen wants to go and see Kak Sarah, right? And be like, oh, did you talk about that? Like, did you talk like that about me? And but no, then Wei-En will come to me and be like, oh, do you know that Chen did this? Like that lah. And then after, oh, maybe you just join me. Then after that, you can fight Chen because Chen is like sucks. Chen sucks. Or then Wei-En will go to Chen and be like, if you join me, then after that, like, you know, Kak Sarah, we can beat Kak Sarah. Like, you get it? Okay? Very complicated and like, jujur lah. Dia macam high school lah. High school bagai weapons. Okay, and you have to remember, Perang Dingin pun ada kena mengena dengan senjata. Dia ada macam perlumbaan senjata. It's an arms race. So why do we have nuclear weapons? Besides the fact that America dropped the nuclear bombs, atomic bombs in Hiroshima, Nagasaki in Perang Dunia Kedua, it's the nuclear bombs that we have today, right? All of the threats and stuff, it all came from this lah. Because America nak tunjuk yang diorang macam, I'm the biggest power. Lepas tu Russia macam, oh tak boleh, I nak tunjuk yang I kuasa lebih besar. You know the drama with the going to the moon? Right? The one where actually Russians went first and then America went and the competition lah. Like that lah. All of this competition. So, what is the lesson that kita belajar? Tolonglah guna proses rundingan untuk mengelakkan konflik. Jangan buat cerita dalam kepala you, okay? Don't write that down in your jawapan kebat, okay?
Okay.
Jangan buat benda dan jangan buat cerita dalam kepala you dan jangan macam drama dengan orang lain atau dengki dengan orang lain. Tidak. I want jawapan yang lebih a bit more acceptable, okay? So, now I want you and Chen, I know the internet is really bad. I want you girls to try page 208 dan 209 dalam buku teks sejarah untuk bab 9. I want you to try to see where you can find what is it that you will put for soalan 9 boy. Boleh?
Boleh
ya. Tak payah tulis the entire thing. Just tell me what you think would do. Ingat guys, mana ni ada fakta, kena ada huraian. That's the only way for you to get jawapan lengkap. That is 2 markah. So 1 fakta mesti kena ada 1 huraian. Alright, then only you can get the full mark of 2 marks. And this is 6 markah. So don't give them more, don't give them less. Okay, just give them just enough. Alright, I'll give you 5 minutes to look for it. Okay. Minta maaf, I just saw this. I was looking at something. Page 208 dan 209. InsyaAllah, 208 dan 209. 2 more minutes.
Kak Sarah, I wait and I have a question here.
Yes.
Like, the dasar berkecuali is something like I just read the textbook, something like we don't care about our ideology, but we want to like berkawan dengan kamu. So it's something kena mengena dengan perang dingin just now.
Yes. So, kena mengena because kita orang macam, especially dengan perang dingin, kita orang macam, I can't afford to just be BFFs with the capitalist guys, right? Because like, what if the capitalist guys lose, right? Then I obviously don't want to be friends with capitalist guys. But I realized that doesn't really matter what they believe in, so long as they don't kacau me, right? I want to be friends with everybody. I don't want drama. Basically, dasar berkecuali is neutral. I'm in the middle. I don't side you. I don't side him. I don't side anybody. I'm in the middle. You both want to fight? You can fight in front of me. Okay? You want to use my house to fight? Go ahead. But I'm not fighting with either one of you because I want to be friends with everybody. Okay, because kita sebagai negara Malaysia, kita orang negara yang masih membangun at that time lah, right? Because kita negara yang masih membangun, we can't afford to just choose berselektif sangat ataupun terlalu selektif dengan kita orang punya hubungan diplomatik. We gotta be friends with everybody because we gotta have opportunities to do business and be friends with everyone. Okay, so it's more like, I don't really care what you believe in, just don't bring that nonsense into my house and we're all friends. Okay, so we can invite like China to sit at the same table as America, or Russia to sit at the same table as America to be, okay, guys, don't drama, don't fight. Let's all have dinner together and let's all be friends, like that lah. Okay, or we can go to India's house, like we can go to Soviet Union's house to eat and then no drama. Then we can also eat at America's house and no drama. Okay, does this make sense? Wait. I see it. Yes, okay, faham. Great. Okay, sudah. Okay, kita start dengan Chen dulu. Do you find anything? Chen? Chen or Wei-En? Sesiapa nak pergi dulu? Go ahead. Anybody?
I'll go first.
Okay, baik. Amin.
Okay. Sorry, I'm eating just now.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay. The first point I'm going to write is cabaran politik antarabangsa. So Tun Abdul Razak mengamalkan dasar berkecuali kerana cabaran politik antarabangsa terwujud. So this is like my isi, and then my huraian is Malaysia mengamalkan, like just copy the textbook.
Okay, Malaysia mengamalkan copy. Mengamalkan what?
Malaysia mengamalkan dasar berkecuali apabila menjalinkan hubungan dengan negara luar tanpa mengira ideologi.
Correct.
Contohnya, Malaysia menjalinkan hubungan dengan negara China melalui lawatan oleh Tun Abdul Razak Husin ke negara tersebut.
Okay. In 1974. Okay. Very good. So, very good. That's a first point. Fantastic. Chen, you want to go next? Yes, go ahead. Whichever way you want. You want to type it out, you want to say it out loud, you want to share, all okay. Okay, cabaran politik. Okay. Okay, is this cabaran politik serantau? Okay, very good. What would be your huraian? Wei-En sabar ya. Chen is typing. Kasih chance sikit. Apabila berlaku point 1 in textbook, aduh, makcik kita ni. Okay, baiklah. Jom, I open up for you and see. Aduh. If I have $1 for every time the student say, tersebutnya di atas, yang tersebutnya dalam teks. Yelah, kalau kita cakap macam tu, kita letak jawapan kita sebagai yang dalam textbook. Cikgu takkanlah cikgu nak bagi kita full mark. Okay, so smart, but not answering the question. So jom kita tengok. So again, we see this is Wei-En punya jawapan tadi. Okay. Cute lah you guys. Alright, so Wei-En punya jawapan tadi is cabaran politik antarabangsa. Okay, Tun Abdul Razak, he came up with dasar berkecuali because kita ada cabaran politik antarabangsa. Wei-En said mengamalkan dasar berkecuali dan tidak mengira ideologi. So at that time China pun is negara komunis. So we decided, you know what? I don't care what you believe in lah. What you do is your business lah. As long as you do business with me, you are honest. Okay? And so that's why, how do we know that that is, kita orang betul-betul mengamalkan dasar berkecuali is macam mana Tun Abdul Razak pergi membuat lawatan ke China tahun 1974. Okay, so that's obvious that Malaysia menjalinkan hubungan. We won't go to the country, right guys, if we don't want to be friends with them. Okay, so remember, satu fakta, mana-mana satu huraian akan dapat 2 markah. Okay, then the next one is Chen cakap cabaran politik serantau. Okay, apakah cabaran politik serantau kita? Okay, I have to explain a bit the cabaran politik serantau. Kita ada ketidakstabilan di rantau Asia Tenggara. Kenapa? Ada pengaruh komunis di Indochina, right? Indochina will be like Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam area. So you can explain that yes, kita ada banyak pendatang asing Vietnam yang membanjiri Asia Tenggara, and then we also menyokong sidang kemuncak ketua-ketua negara ASEAN in Bali to discuss about all the drama that was happening. Pergolakan is all the drama lah, and all the fighting that was happening in Indochina. Okay, so how does it affect us actually? Like, okay, the drama in Indochina is Indochina's business, it's Vietnam's business, but it's our business because all of these, all of the like Vietnamese people lah, they have to run away from their homes, right? They have to become refugees, and they have nowhere else to go. And so when they have nowhere else to go, they will come to Malaysia. And so what can we do? We can't be like, go back lah to your country where your government and your people will kill you. Takkan we want to do that, right? So we also have like, okay, we want to help you guys, but at the same time we're like, we also have a lot of things to do in our own country. So like, alamak, what do we do? That's why we have to talk about it. Okay. Now ingat, this is soalan 6 markah, so you have to continue going. Next one is cabaran ketiga, iaitu cabaran keselamatan dan pertahanan. So this is one of the issues that we have. One of the biggest issues is our safety, and safety has something to do with our defense, pertahanan. So we signed a perjanjian dengan British all the way in like 1957, right? Bila kita dapat kemerdekaan untuk Tanah Melayu. In 1971, unfortunately, that particular agreement called the AMDA, the Anglo-Malayan Defense Agreement. Every time you nampak perkataan Anglo got something to do with the British, okay? So 1971, this AMDA agreement that we signed in 1957 dah tamat. So macam, okay, it's sudahlah enough, okay? The British cannot protect us anymore, and they want to take their soldiers out of Tanah Melayu or Malaysia at that time. So eventually, Malaysia menandatangani 5 Power Defense Agreement, perjanjian baharu from between 15 to 16 April 1971 untuk menjaga keselamatan dan pertahanan negara. That's already satu markah actually. If you want to add on a contoh and to strengthen your jawapan, perjanjian ini melibatkan negara Malaysia, Singapura, Britain, New Zealand dan Australia. So you see, most of the countries here are all Commonwealth countries. Okay, so it's then this 5 Power Defense Arrangement is not just for defense. Okay, it's also untuk dapat like macam latihan and bantuan technical. Okay, so this is just for you to understand. All right, so this is one of the cabaran. We have no choice because we don't have the British anymore to protect us. So we have to sign a new agreement known as 5 Power Defense Agreement. Okay, then the last one, you can go to cabaran pembangunan ekonomi. So kenapa kita perlu melaksanakan atau menjalankan dasar berkecuali? Because kita orang ada masalah dengan pembangunan ekonomi. So things like negara maju, diorang akan menentukan harga komoditi, all of the things that you are buying and selling, right? Biji timah, getah, hasil minyak, gas, all of these stuff. Commodities, the price will be decided by the powerful guys. All the negara maju lah, America, Britain, those kind of places, right? And Malaysia have no choice but to menganggotai pertubuhan antarabangsa like International Tin Council, General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade. So we're like, because other countries are deciding how much is the price, we have to take care of ourselves. And so we need to not just be friends with like just the Western countries, we need to be friends with everybody. Okay, so that on top of that, our dasar berkecuali also is that kita menubuhkan Petronas untuk membangunkan sektor minyak dan gas negara. So dasar berkecuali is not just about being friends with everybody. Dasar berkecuali is also like, I'll be friends with everybody, but at the same time, I've got to take care of myself first. That's why I'm friends with everybody. That's why I don't want your drama. I just want to do business with you. I just want to earn money. Okay, so the most, I guess, the jawapan yang paling konkret lah, jawapan yang memang you tahu that makes sense to this soalan boy is actually cabaran politik antarabangsa, politik serantau, and keselamatan dan pertahanan, because all of this has something to do with our relationship with outside countries. Okay, economy, yes. But economy has always been like that. We always have to rely on other countries' participation and business in order for us to earn money. That's just how it works, right? Economy means like you help me, I help you, ma, right? Now, last question. I want you guys to go back. Again, I don't need you to just give me the full jawapan. Just your fakta, your huraian, your contoh, and also your kesimpulan or kesan or inference. Amalan dasar luar Malaysia diuruskan dengan baik. Okay, so this is ulasan. This, you have to explain to me this statement. Okay, amalan dasar luar, that means all of Malaysia's like foreign policies or plans diuruskan dengan baik. So you have to give me proof actually. All right. So this is not really just a KBAT question. You can actually find the jawapan in the entire chapter. So they actually want not just for you to tell me like, oh yeah, saya bersetuju amalan dasar luar Malaysia diuruskan dengan baik kerana dasar luar Malaysia memastikan kedaulatan negara kita. Tidak. I want you to give me concrete proof. Okay, bukti yang amalan dasar luar Malaysia memang diuruskan dengan baik. Alright, so I would give you examples of like, okay, think of like who joined PBB. Think about Malaysia joining PBB, or Malaysia joining Commonwealth, or Malaysia joining ASEAN or something like that. Like, what is the proof that we've been doing the work? Can you guys do that? I give you 10 minutes to figure out something that we discuss together. Boleh?
Alright, Kak Sarah.
Just try,
also,
okay? It doesn't matter. Yes,
okay.
yes.
When we saw the word ulasan, meaning that we need to give bukti, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, sure.
Okay? Bukti. Sebab amalan is practice mah. And that's why that's something to do with bukti as well. So I don't just want you to say, oh kita harus menjalankan, memastikan kedaulatan negara, kita harus membangunkan ekonomi. Tak. I want something more concrete. I want all your proof. And the proof actually is in your textbook. Okay? Sekian.
Okay. Thanks, Kak Sarah.
No worries. I'm right here. Okay. I'm going to take water first. Okay, sudah? Jom. Kita nak start dengan siapa? Wei En atau Chen?
I'll start first.
Baik, jom.
Okay. So the question is not asking.
Sorry, Wei En, you're not quite clear. I think you're using your earphones, is it?
Yes, I'm using my earphones.
Okay.
Does it sound better right now? Because
Yeah,
I'm
better, much
putting
better,
it.
much better. Thank you.
Okay, now we'll start with Malaysia, and like ulang the question lah, like the soalan, and then
Correct, betul.
and then blah 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 dengan mengamalkan sikap atau mengamalkan nilai bertanggungjawab.
Okay.
Hal ini kerana Malaysia telah bertanggungjawab semasa menyertai organisasi antarabangsa supaya mendapat hormati daripada negara lain. And then contohnya Malaysia mengamalkan dasar aman dan berkecuali sejak menyertai NAM. And then NAM is like non-aligned movement.
You have to say it. Okay, jangan lupa Wei En, you have to say what is non-aligned movement. Jangan letak NAM je tau. Kalau first time, diorang takkan tahu apa NAM. Yeah, dia bukan UMNO, dia bukan MCA, dia bukan MIC, dia bukan PKM. This is, kita first time we want to talk about PBB, dia masih Pertubuhan Bangsa-Bangsa Bersatu. Understand? Okay? So, you must explain to me apa itu NAM. Ingat guys, semua whoever that's going to watch this recording, sesiapa, like just imagine that the person that's going to mark your paper betul-betul tak tahu anything. Don't know anything. So, you have to explain things to them. Okay?
Okay.
Continue please, sorry. Continue.
Alright. Yes, continue start with my contoh. Contohnya, Malaysia melaksanakan atau mengamalkan dasar aman dan berkecuali sejak menyertai non-aligned movement, and then bracket NAM. And kesannya, and then I'm going to give the most common and cliche kesan, keamanan negara tercapai. Yeah.
Okay, so keamanan negara dapat dijamin or terjamin. You can expand your answer a bit, okay?
Okay.
Kesannya dengan dengan dasar luar Malaysia, okay, dengan pemimpin akan memastikan negara kita aman dan akan menjaminkan keamanan negara kita, menjaminkan kesejahteraan negara kita, that kind of stuff. You don't have to just put kesannya keamanan tercapai full stop. That is actually not jawapan lengkap. So they're going to definitely be like, walaupun you bagi I kesan tapi macam tak lengkap jawapan you. So kena guna adab sikit. Again, I told you before, right? Whenever you're answering soalan, you kena buat macam bagi salam, Assalamualaikum and Waalaikumsalam and selamat pagi cikgu, selamat malam cikgu, that kind of stuff. Alright, so just don't forget that. Okay, it's all your essays are like that. Doesn't only, maybe not science lah, science don't matter. Let me get to the point. But all the other essays that you have, whether it's sejarah, whether it's BM, whether it's English, always remember you have to give them an actual answer. You have to answer the question. Okay, now we go to Chen before Kak Sarah bagi some of my examples. I like it. Very good. Chen? Chen is typing. Bagus. Pangkal ayat. Oh, I love Chen because Chen will do the most with the least. Kerana dapat memastikan keselamatan Malaysia terjamin, I think it's a spelling, memberi manfaat dari segi keamanan, contoh dalam Malaysia terlibat dalam penyelesaian konflik serantau. Okay, I understand all of your answers. Okay, so I'm going to give you a potential different answer. Okay, potential. Chen belum habis lagi. Dengan menghantar pasukan pengaman di bawah PBB. Okay. I don't think your answers are wrong. Okay. I'm going to provide a different way of answering your question. Okay. Which is not your typical answer, but a little bit more heavy on the contoh yang kita boleh dapat dalam buku teks. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Jom kita tengok. Oops. Next one. Okay. Amalan dasar luar diuruskan dengan sebaiknya, beri ulasan anda. So first and foremost, you say yes. Amalan dasar luar negara Malaysia diuruskan dengan sebaiknya dengan Malaysia yang menganggotai Pertubuhan Bangsa-Bangsa Bersatu. So your first fact is actually this, okay? Amalan dasar luar kita, how can you know what is the proof, what is the bukti yang kita orang menguruskan dasar luar kita dengan sebaiknya, dengan secara efektif. The first one is, oh guys, we joined the PBB. Right? Do you see Wei and how to write it? Menganggotai Pertubuhan Bangsa-Bangsa Bersatu. Then ini in bracket PBB. First time must always mention. Okay. Then lepas tu, macam mana kita menganggotai PBB? Macam mana kita tahu amalan dasar luar kita diuruskan dengan sebaiknya? Kita tahu that dengan when we join PBB, kita akan mendukung piagam PBB. Piagam PBB is the UN Charter. Remember? UN Charter is basically like a document that we agree to uphold the rights of humans. Okay, and that's menegakkan hak asasi manusia. You can also mention how Malaysia, I'm supposed to turunkan this one. Malaysia mendukung prinsip menghormati kedaulatan wilayah lain. Okay, and that's why amalan dasar luar kita diuruskan dengan sebaiknya kerana Malaysia tidak campur tangan dalam hal ehwal negara lain. We don't concern ourselves with other people's drama. So the contoh is that, for example, we menyertai agency PBB, right? UNESCO, FAO, which is the Food and Agriculture Organization. And then we also beri sumbangan besar menjayakan misi pengaman. So very good, Chen, you're on the right track. And then on top of that, we have people like Tan Sri Dr. Jamila Mahmud dan Datuk Maimunah Muhammad Sharif menyumbangkan tenaga mereka ke arah misi kemanusiaan. That's actually in your textbook itself. So you see how you can give the contoh, guys. The contoh are not just like, oh, we join PBB, we respect other people's rights, we don't meddle in other people's affairs. The example is that we do the misi pengaman in Congo. Let's say you cannot remember that we joined the peacekeeping missions. Then you can remember women like Tan Sri Dr. Jamila Mahmud and Datuk Maimunah Muhammad Sharif menyumbangkan tenaga ke arah misi kemanusiaan. So I'm going to stop here first and I'm going to show you guys where it is in the buku text. All right. This is the part right here. These are all the guys. This is us joining, the agencies in PBB. This is the misi pengaman. And then you've got this right here. This is not a clear one. This is Tan Sri Dr. Jamila Mahmud. If you don't remember who this person is, Tan Sri Dr. Jamila Mahmud is technically one of the founders of Mercy Malaysia. So if today you guys see, there's always like, oh, Mercy Malaysia is asking for dana, for funding, helping with, frontliners, helping to get PPE, helping with the floods in Malaysia, all that kind of stuff, right? She was the one that set up this Mercy Malaysia, okay? And so she actually is a Dr. Purubata. She's actually a doctor and she's also a humanitarian or like a human rights activist, okay? So she was actually elected as one of the dilantik oleh Setiausaha Agong PBB at that time, the UN Secretary General, to be one of the 16 members of Penasihat Kumpulan Tabung Tindakan Kecemasan Pusat. So the fact that she is really somebody, okay? She's really somebody like amazing, okay? You see, menjawat jawatan Ketua Sekretariat Sidang Kemuncak Kemanusiaan Dunia di PBB, menyelaraskan handling all the activity kemanusiaan di seluruh dunia. That's her, okay? That's Tan Sri Dr. Jamila Mahmud. Then there's Datuk Maimunah Muhammad Sharif, who's a penjawat awam. So she is, she works, how do I say this? Her biggest contribution is the fact that from 2017 to 2020, mengetuai UN Habitat merupakan wanita pertama di Asia untuk menjawat jawatan tersebut. What is UN Habitat? It's a very active agency in the UN to do what exactly? Memberi tumpuan kepada kehidupan bandar yang mapan ketika populasi dunia berkembang dengan pesatnya. So what does the word mapan mean? Anybody want to try?
Something like mundur.
Mundur ah?
Not like mundur, like less. I mean, not so canggih lah.
Not so canggih. Okay.
Just guessing, yeah.
Anybody else? Okay. Guessing is good.
Okay.
Amo? Anybody else? Mapan actually, right, is like steady or stable. Okay.
Oh,
mapan is
okay.
stable. Okay, or stable, which means that memberi tumpuan kepada kehidupan bandar yang mapan, which means stabilized life in the city, okay, or life in like bigger town areas as the world population continues to expand. So UN Habitat, like coming from the word habitat, what is habitat for? Habitat is what? Is where people live, right? So UN Habitat is, you see guys, there are so many billion people in this world. And so many people in this world that actually don't have access to homes. So many people in this world that don't have access to anything. So the UN Habitat is there to really help out, figure out ways for people to get homes, or get better homes. Like you guys know there's this thing called like coffin homes in Hong Kong, right? Have you guys ever heard of it?
Yes,
Okay.
heard in the news.
Yes, heard it in the news, right? So you, for example, like the coffin homes in Hong Kong, it's not that you live in a coffin, but it's so what's that word? It's so small. Okay, so Chen, coffin homes is that in Hong Kong or places like very, very big cities, like the bigger the city is, the more expensive rent is going to be in the heart of the city, right? So for example, in Hong Kong, it's an island, very little space. So these coffin homes are, people would literally, like, you know, those like hostels, right? Where you just rent like a bed, right? Like a bunk bed. You just stay there, and then, like, you know, you pay like 10, 12, 20, $30, okay, right? So this one is, they would charge you like up to thousands of dollars just for this one space. So it looks like a freaking coffin, like it looks like a pod, okay? And that's bad, because if people are living like this, they're not just one person. Some of them are living with their entire families in there. So it's like, it's a really very awful way of living. Okay, so the UN Habitat, it's trying to find ways for us to change cities, to understand human settlement, all right? And then it's kind of like understand how we can make a more sustainable urban development. How can we develop our city without like hurting people? Because what's the point of having a beautiful city, beautiful buildings, but then people got no place to stay, right? So, and what's the point of making a beautiful building that is not sustainable, that we're actually hurting our environment, right? So the UN Habitat or Settlement Program is a really very, very active program. Okay, really, really very active program. So that's why they say it's one of the most active programs in the world. And the fact that Datuk Maimunah is here, it's incredible. Okay, so the other ones that you guys can see would be like all the ghetto areas. Like, for example, there are favelas in Brazil. You know, those, like, they look from far, it looks nice, beautiful house, colorful houses, but they're not. They're actually like squatter areas. And again, what's the point of having the world's tallest building in our country, but then people are still living like that? They're still living in squatter areas. They don't have access to clean water. People don't even have homes to live in. That's awful. Okay, so that's what the UN Habitat is all about. So you guys see, Dasar Luar is not just about, oh, kita nak, you know, tolong diri sendiri, all right, okay? But like the idea here is, okay, what? We want to help save the world, okay? And that's why Dasar Luar Malaysia, we join the PBB, we join the agencies. All of this is because we want to make the world a better place. So Dasar Luar is not just about Malaysia want to help ourselves. We know that if we help ourselves, but then everywhere else in the world is burning, then Malaysia will also burn, okay? The next one that you guys can also consider, let me go back to my...
Oh, gosh, sorry, I have a question about the UN Habitat just now.
Sure.
Sorry. Like when the Datuk Maimunah Sharif, yeah, she want to help someone like in other countries. She need to work with others like Kerajaan, with
correct,
like as a PBB agency, something like that.
Correct. Yes.
Oh.
So she is not working for Kerajaan Malaysia, you know, like the country Dr. Jamila and Datuk Maimunah. Datuk Maimunah was the head, okay, at some point. She was the one that's actually like leading the UN Habitat. So this was the person that really was like, she would be the one that actually helped to make sure we come up with all of these plans, right? To make sure that we are able to transform cities to become a better place. We want to transform, you know, communities. Ultimately, guys, with the UN Habitat, they want to make sure that there are less people living in poverty. Okay, because it's bad. What's the, again lah, Kasara said, right? What's the point of we have beautiful building in the world, but then people are dying because there's no place to stay, right? So UN Habitat is supposed to transform cities. Like, we're supposed to be better developing, better policies, better action plans to be put, better things to do, more people to see, change people's idea of what a city is supposed to look like, you know, provide opportunities for people to live in a proper place, that kind of stuff. Okay. Their partners for the UN Habitat will include like, I think they work a lot with places like Afghanistan, Kenya, Philippines, Nepal, Somalia, France, India, Spain, that kind of stuff.
Spain. Oh my God.
Yeah. So I can show you guys how it opens up. So I'll just quickly share this thing with you. If you see their topics, what they talk about: human rights, climate change, governance, gender, migration, safety, public space, and all that kind of stuff. Right. So for example, right, some of the things that, you know, we don't even think about. You notice that bus stop, right? You guys notice that bus stops are not comfortable to sit. Sometimes they got spikes, sometimes they got that, like, you know, like it's got no place to lie down. Actually, it's just sit down in this very tight space. It's all steel. Sometimes there's no like awning, right? All of this kind of stuff is actually trying to stop people, homeless people, from getting shelter. So UN Habitat is also trying to figure out, like, okay, they cannot stop the fact that they're going to be homeless people. We're trying to reduce that. So we're trying to transform the space of urban living. Okay, when I say urban living, I mean city living lah, very far away from Luar Bandar. Okay, got it?
Right.
Last one. So this is just for your own understanding and for you to really know in the future, like, what are the other things you can potentially do with your life. Okay, guys, not everybody has to be maths genius. Great if you are a maths genius, but there are a lot of other things that we still need other humans to do, like take care of other humans. Not just about being rich and being successful, guys. Being successful is making sure that we live in a community that can take care of themselves and each other. Okay? So last one, we can see Malaysia juga menyertai pertubuhan Commonwealth, right? Like for example, in Commonwealth, we are very vocal about kerjasama pertahanan and economy. We really like AMDA, right? We really love the Anglo-Malayan defense agreement. We really like it because we want protection. But at the same time, we also participate in Commonwealth for economy, right? Because we know that we can do business and we can earn more money, right? That's what we want. We want to membangunkan negara kita. On top of that, we were also very against some of the ideas like dasar apartheid di Afrika Selatan. Apartheid, I think I've mentioned to you guys before. If I haven't, apartheid is basically discrimination in South Africa, in which the white minorities you know, divide themselves from black South Africans and basically made life very, very miserable for a lot of people in South Africa up until the early 90s. Okay, and then kita ada terlibat dalam pertubuhan antara serantau like ASEAN. ASEAN is very important to us, guys, because it's to mengukuhkan hubungan kita dalam kawasan serantau kita. Okay, on top of that, you also mentioned mengamalkan dasar berkecuali, membuat lawatan to China. We also play peranan penting in OIC and NAM. I've already mentioned all of this, so you guys are definitely on the right track. Okay, on the right track. Cool. Any questions?
Okay. Kak, the slides we can find in the group later, right?
I will send it to you. Please remind. No, I would try. If I don't send, please remind me, so that I can send it. I already have it in PDF and it's on my desktop, but I always forget to send it to you guys. So I will send it over to you guys later. Okay?
Okay.
You can have your examples. I will send it from the last few weeks ones also, so you can actually have a list of things that you can hold on to. The reason why I do the schema jawapan like this is like much easier for you to see, so that you don't have to necessarily follow exactly the model jawapan, right? As in like the actual essay itself. I just need to make sure you have your points there. But always remember, mana ni ada schema jawapan, they're not giving you the actual jawapan lengkap. You have to expand your answer, okay? Don't forget that. Always jawab the soalan. Cool?
Cool, okay.
Okay, great. Inshallah, I will see you girls next week at 10 o'clock. Next week, I want to teach you guys about kemerdekaan. I feel that that's another chapter we might come out for SPM. Okay?
Okay.
All right, bye. See you girls.
Bye. 恭喜发财, Kak Sarah.
You too, bye.
Okay, bye-bye.